Hey guys, welcome back. So, for some of you more hardcore gamers out there, you've probably noticed that these last few years have been crazy for gaming. We've seen some of the highest highs and lowest lows when it comes to game releases. But there's been something that's always bothered me about the gaming community, and it's that people are for whatever reason married to the AAA gaming genre. Every year, these huge live service games are becoming more and more monetized, feeling like soulless cash grabs. But on the flip side, some of the best indie games of all time have been released in the last couple of years. Heck, there's even one nominated at the 2024 Game Awards, made by a single developer. But I wanted to talk about one that I believe deserved the same spotlight as some of the biggest indie games of our generation, and that's Sifu. So for those that don't know, just a quick summary, Sifu is a third-person brawler game with kung fu type combat mechanics. I would say something similar to like a Souls game in the fact that you make your way through a single level, and at the end of the level you will find a big boss that you have to defeat to move on. Also features a kind of interesting story, though it's not really the main focus of this game. You're more here for just the combat. Speaking of combat, Sifu probably has the best and most fluid hand-to-hand combat I've really seen in any game ever. Almost all the combat animations in this game have been mocapped and have been transitioned into the game almost perfectly. They even took the time to add environmental kill animations like something you would see in Red Dead 2, for example. The same also goes for the weapons. They have different weapons and weapon types you can use with their own movesets. For indie game, the attention to detail there is just insane. And as fun as the combat is, though, it is also extremely hard because the game is only around 8 hours long and the difficulty ramps up extremely fast. For me, I would have to put the difficulty somewhere on the same level as Sekiro, and it is very much trial and error and is built in a way that I find extremely interesting. So every time you die in this game, you don't reset the level from a checkpoint. Instead, your character ages 1 year and you can revive exactly right where you died, but if you die again, it gets added to your death counter and you age 2 years. This can easily snowball if you struggle with a certain boss or enemy into you aging like a lot of years, and if you die past age 70, it's game over. Your age also carries over to all 5 levels of the game, so it encourages you to optimize every level to your fullest potential, and I think it's a really cool and unique way of upping the stakes. I do think in some circumstances, though, it can make the game a little bit more repetitive, having to replay a certain level multiple times just to complete it at a good age. But as you progress through the game, you can find keys that unlock shortcuts to make to the boss a little bit faster. I think they could have improved this with like adding a little bit more like roguelike elements to keep it more fresh, though. They do have some like that you can do with your build, but I just don't think it's quite enough in my opinion. Back to combat though, there are a ton of different unlockable combos and attacks in this game, which helps out quite a lot with depth, and it is really cool when you can finally learn or unlock a combo or mechanic that makes the game significantly easier for you. I had one of these moments with Sean when I finally learned you can just down avoid to dodge all of his attacks, making him one of the hardest bosses to one of the easiest bosses in the game. And I think there's a lot of moments that you will have throughout the game where everything just clicks and it is very satisfying. All of these bosses in the game are also incredible both visually and mechanically. They're definitely the high points in the game, and each encounter is unique in its own way. Every character you fight has its own little backstory and opinion on how Sifu should progress, and you can never approach these bosses the same. Like the museum boss, who you have to play extremely passive with her and wait for a finisher combo, then you can punish. The CEO, you have to use directional avoids the whole fight and try to be somewhat aggressive. And with Yang, you can almost parry all of his attacks just to break his structure. And I will say, for the final boss, this guy is absolutely insane. He makes every other boss in the game look like a joke. And I think it is cool that you can basically use he uses like every combo that you've learned in the game against you, and it's kind of like fighting yourself in a way. This is unironically probably my favorite boss fight like I've ever fought in any game ever. It was really a bold move to make this boss so difficult, especially at the end of the game, and it really just shows how much faith that this studio has in the people who are playing it. I think it's worth noting too that this game is just very visually unique. I haven't seen any other game that has quite the graphics like this. And as much as my opinion is worth, I also think that the music is also pretty solid. It's not up there like with Hades or like Cult of the Lamb or Hollow Knight or something like that, but it's very good, I will say. Either way, if you guys like a good challenge and some good satisfying combat, I think you should really check this game out. If this game didn't come out around the same time that Elden Ring came out, I guarantee you this game would be way more popular than it is now. And I still, it's only 2 years old, so I think you guys should go ahead and check it out. This also got its own feature on the secret level show that came out on Prime Video, which was also really cool. A lot of the reason why I wanted to come back to this game. So yeah, if this all seems cool to you guys, then I think you should just go ahead and check it out. I think it's a pretty cool game, and that's about all the time I have for today, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.